Hi folks, it's Mr. Palmer again, and I thought I'd do an update video on Mitchell's Whim at Eastpool Mine. Now, Whim, as most people would know if you're into engines and mining and what have you, it's not really for the people that are into it, it's for the people that really would like to know a bit more about it but don't know much about it. Now, Whim is a Cornish term, and Whim means winding or winding engine. Now this here is a 30-inch cylinder winding engine. It's known as double acting. That means steam is admitted, excuse my hand, to the bottom and to the top of the cylinder, which makes it a very powerful little engine in its own right. Now you can see that this brick effect here, this is not bricks, it's just a effect to look like bricks, but the idea was to insulate the cylinder, because if the cylinder, which you can see as part of it just up in there, if that was exposed to the atmosphere, then all the heat from the steam would go into the engine house, and it wouldn't be very efficient. So, you know, to insulate it, keep the heat in, is a good thing. So, the controls to this engine. This is the throttle, or the regulator. As you can see, it does work still. Does make quite a bit of racket when that valve is open. So what you do to get the engine working is you select a gear. This is Stephenson's link motion. It's on most steam engines, like railway locomotives and traction engines. So you put it into gear, and then you open the throttle, and of course the brake there. The brake is in the up position, so therefore the brake is off. How the brake works, folks, is outside there's a remains of a metal band in the bottom, and well, I don't know if the wooden blocks are still on it because we've had it overhauled. We've got a new drive on it at the minute. Basically, the wooden blocks engage onto the flywheel, which breaks the engine or stops the engine. As you can see, it's on the off position right now. Now this little apparatus down here, it's got an arrow just on this side here, which is a bit difficult to, there you go, you can see it now. Originally, this board here is the depth gauge board, and it tells you where the cages or the kibble is in the shaft at any one time, and this apparatus governs that, and it's quite cleverly how it did it, but it certainly did. And as you can see, it goes all the way up the side of the engine house, and I believe that is all original, and it's made of wood, as you can see. So it's one piece of wood, so that's one big tree that has been sacrificed to use that. Now these two boards here give you an idea of what the signalling situation in a mine or an engine house like this. Now as you can see, it says New Cook's kitchen shaft, the top one does, and the later one is probably from South Crofty. Well, they're both South Crofty actually. So it gives you a bit of an idea what signals were. They were pretty much kept the same, as you can see, like 1 and 1, 148 fathom station, 141. Where is that? I can't see it on that one, so it's a bit different. But they do change them as time goes on. But these are real nice survivors. Now, that is your pressure gauge, and it tells you what the actual engine is doing, and obviously that's to do with the engine itself. The one on the boiler, which is in here, that's to do with the pressure that what is actually inside the boiler, folks. Now this boiler here is not an original one to this engine house. It was donated to the National Trust in the 1970s, I believe, and it came from the workhouse in Truro, where they used it for the washing department. The workhouse is, or it was, the Truro City Hospital, not Trelisk, the older one. So a very nice boiler, Cornish boiler that one, or Cornish patent design. So that's pretty much the controls here. Now today we run the engine on electric, as most of you will know, and this is the